The Luke Branquinho Show is brought to you by Lane Frost. Lane Frost, your legend starts now.
When you're first starting out, you can't play the shows, or you can't book the shows because you don't have a band. And you don't have a band because you can't book the shows. I may be a small up-and-coming artist, so to speak, but even though there may be 4 people in the crowd, as long as those 4 people are having a great time, you feel good about yourself.
Rodeo time. Welcome to the Luke Branquinho Show. Our next guest is a guy that not only used to wrestle steers, but now he picks the guitar, as you can see behind him. Wynn Williams, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
Man, so it was a fun conversation between my co-part, Katie Kaufman, who I do a lot of TV work with. She's like, man, you need to talk to this guy, Wynn. He's awesome. He's an up-and-comer in the music industry. He was a steer wrestler, and she said it's a perfect fit. And after doing some research, I hate to admit it, but Katie was probably right. But yeah,
she's
man,
a rock star, man.
Oh, Katie is absolutely amazing. Don't tell her I said that. I try to give her as much crap as possible. But let's talk a little bit about Wynn. I mean, steer wrestled, high school rodeo, college rodeo, Weatherford, quit in 2015. You're pursuing your music career and having a lot of success.
Yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. Rodeo and playing music are pretty synonymous. You know, you're spending lots of time in the truck, lots of time in the van, trying to make things happen. And once you get to the rodeo, 100 miles away or hundreds of miles away, you only have a short period of time to go make some fans.
Yeah. So 10 years in the process. Was Tornado your first release or one of your first releases?
Tornado was a song on my first full-length record that came out in January of 2020. But I had a project, just a 6-song EP that came out in 2017, right after I graduated from A&M.
Gotcha. Well, walk me through that, because 10 years in the industry, and I know a few people that say it's grueling. Like you're driving around playing little dive bars and trying to get to the next level and work your way up. So walk us through that when you first started to where you're at now.
Yeah, so I kind of really leaned into music a lot. I came from a musical family, so like I sang in choir all 4 years of high school while I was rodeoing or playing sports, and then went to Weatherford College, as you mentioned, for a couple years. Transferred to A&M after an injury, and pursued my bachelor's degree. And then I really started to lean into music a lot more my senior year at A&M, and started this little spot called The Tap in town. And then I started to kind of branch out and go play, out in Houston, or go play East Texas, or maybe I went and played San Antonio. And a lot of that stuff, man, is you're right. It's grueling. It sucks. You sit there in a little bitty bar with maybe 4 people there, and, you set up your sound and you play for 3 hours. And a lot of it, like, as you're a young artist, you don't have much original material, so you're playing cover songs. But, that's kind of where you get your chops up, where you kind of learn a lot about yourself, and you figure out, how to, even though there may be 4 people in the crowd, as long as those 4 people are having a great time, you feel good about yourself. So a lot of it is that for years, man. And it was in 2018 whenever I put a few shows together where I needed a band, and it was September of 2018, and that's whenever I really jump started and kick started into touring pretty heavily. And 2019 was great. We were really on the rise, if you will. Our last show in 2020, right after putting out my first full-length record, was actually Rodeo Houston. We played at the Hideout.
Oh, nice.
And then we were going to play Rodeo Austin, and we were sitting at a show in Midland, Texas. And that's when everything started to, the pieces started to fall. And I said, I saw the news about Houston Rodeo shutting down, and I said, boys, we're about to go underground for a long time. and sure enough, we did. But, we made it through that, and came out on the other side better with some more music. And even more dates and some growth on social media, growth on streaming platforms and all that kind of stuff. And now, we got a ton of dates on the books. This year alone, we'll do Mexico, Canada, Europe, all over the US. And we got a new record coming out in August. So it is a grueling business. I've always kind of thought to myself, like, okay, I'm going to put in 10 years and see what happens. And now I'm on my 9th year, and it feels like, the momentum is starting to really pick up. So, it's all according to plan, as they say.
Right. Yeah. Trust the process for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and management's huge. You're managed by Jake Owen's manager. And obviously Jake's had a lot of success in the industry. To have that behind you, helping guide you, it's got to be big too.
Yeah. Having great people in your corner is everything, man. The music business can be, it can be a shady business without a doubt. There are people that will definitely take advantage of you. If you're out there just writing checks left and right for music or, commissions or whatever, someone will happily take that money for you and they won't even feel bad about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And like I said, knowing some artists, Chancey Williams, Cody Johnson, talking to them about it, it's almost like, from my understanding, if you don't follow the flow, you're an outsider. And it seems like they just want to stay on the outside, and they've had a lot of success. So they're breaking down those walls, I feel like, of the tradition, following the pattern.
Yeah, I would agree. And Chancey, I love Chancey and I love Cody. I sold merch for Cody in college once. That's whenever I actually decided, okay, I want to do what he's doing. I don't want to sell t-shirts. But yeah, man, I mean, you're exactly right. You kind of it's a lot like rodeo, man. If you take a loss, you put your head down, you keep on working, you get back, you come back, for the next rodeo. And a lot of cases, the music business is that way. If you hear a no, it's like, all right, on to the next one.
Yeah. No doesn't mean stop. No means put your head down and keep going.
That's right.
Well, you talked about, I think 2019, you said you had to kind of start putting a band together. What is that process like? Because you have to find somebody that, I guess plays the same type of music as you, has the same type of, I don't know anything about it, same type of rhythm and all that, right?
A lot of it is word of mouth. So, you'll hear about somebody that's playing and maybe you'll shoot them a text message and say, hey, are you available for something? And then maybe they say no. And then you say, okay, can you give me 3 references that might fit the bill? When you're first starting out, you can't play the shows, or you can't book the shows because you don't have a band, and you don't have a band because you can't book the shows.
Book the shows.
So you're always doing this cart before the horse type thing. And once you establish yourself as someone who's really serious about it, then it's easier for those pieces to start to fall into place.
We're going to go to break, and we come back, we'll have more with Wynn Williams.
Hey, I'm Matt Merritt. And whether I'm hanging out at home or when I'm in the woods, or even when I'm in the arena, I always choose to be legendary. Do you?
The Luke Branquinho Show is brought to you by Lane Frost. Lane Frost brand is completely family owned and operated. Every single product is designed and shipped from their hometown, Atoka, Oklahoma. The Frost family thanks customers for supporting their family. They hope you're inspired by Lane's legacy and the champion mindset. Fans of the Luke Branquinho Show can use promo code LUKE20 for 20% off any of their quality products at lanefrost.com. Welcome back to the Luke Branquinho Show. Our guest, Wynn Williams, country music up-and-comer, I guess. And I guess, is that the right way to say it? 10 years in the business, but up-and-comer because you're starting to be able to book shows. Like you said, you're going to Mexico, you're going to Europe. It almost sounds like an insult that you've been doing it for 10 years and saying up-and-comer, but really you've been at it for so long.
Yeah, man, it's, there's all sorts of labels that you get, but again, it's you just kind of put the noise outside and
right.
Keep on going. I know what I've done.
Yeah.
In the past, I know what my experience is. So the only validation I need is from my wife.
There you go. 100%. I hear that. I hear that. You had talked about and mentioned European. You're going over to France and playing Mexico. I mean, that's got to feel good to be able to have shows booked outside of the United States.
Man, it's really cool. If you would have told me, whenever I first started that I would get to travel the world and play music, I probably would have called you a liar. But to this point, man, like I just played a festival in Cabo with some other artists, some buddies of mine. And this will be my sixth time to go play in Europe. And I'll go over there for a couple weeks at a time. The first time I went over there for a month, and my wife and I just traveled all over Europe. And I only had one show, so talk about a loss. But I get to experience these things. Like whenever I go in July, I'm making a little bit of money, so I'm going to take my dad and we're going to go see like all the World War II stuff in Normandy. And then after the show, we're going to go up to Belgium and see some of the Battle of the Bulge stuff. So, a lot of those international things are not necessarily about making money per se, but, making memories and sharing the experience with my loved ones is kind of what I see those opportunities as.
It's crazy that you mentioned that, because when I was rodeo and it was rodeo, that was business. I loved when my family was with me, but I was there to win. It had, it wasn't a distraction, but it was just another piece. Now that I'm doing more TV stuff and traveling, I love taking them with me because we can go experience things. Now, that again, I talk about rodeo, you got to be pretty selfish to have the success I had, and they experienced that, unfortunately. But now I'm trying to, I guess, make it up with bringing them on these trips. When I go to Calgary, the boys have went the last couple years. Bear's going with me. When I go to here or there, I'll try to bring Lindsay especially, but the boys when they're not busy with sports and school, because you're right. The memories you make, you don't have to make a lot of money on the back end as long as you're making those memories.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And probably too, man, like, you've built your career and established yourself early on. So now like your kids are probably old enough now to where when you go places that they will remember those things and they will, have a lot of fun and they'll be talking about it for years to come.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Mexico to Europe, but let's talk about it's your latest release, Denver to Dallas.
So we put out Denver to Dallas in January of this year, right before we went to a big festival in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, called the Music Fest. It's like a big Texas music festival up there. So then right after Denver to Dallas, I went back into the studio and started to cut some other songs. We had a song come out a couple weeks ago called Heaven on a Hardwood Floor. That was our first single leading into our new album that's going to be coming out at the end of August. So we have another song coming out July 4th. It's a cover of George Strait's The Fireman, but it's like a little spin on it.
Oh, nice.
And then we'll have another song come out, a few weeks after that. And then the full length record will come out end of August. Is
it August 29th? It says the new album will be released.
August 29th. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, you guys check it out. Make sure you hit that up. And how are people available to get that?
They can find it anywhere they listen to music, the streaming platforms, of course. If you want to buy music, that'd be great. That helps me tremendously since there's no money in streaming. You can go to WynnWilliamsMusic.com. You can we're doing vinyls for this record, buy a CD as well. We have some merch packages that you can explore on WynnWilliamsMusic.com.
There you go. We're going to put that up there too, so everybody could see it and click the link on whatever they click. I don't know much about technology. I let all my people that know all that stuff do that. But man, that's pretty cool that you're able to do that. Go out with we talk about going out with your wife or your dad, taking them to Europe and experience. And not only that, they get to experience it with you. And like I was talking about when I was rodeoing, I wish I would have let my family experience a little bit more, but you have that ability to do that. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it's it leads to unforgettable experiences. So I'm pretty grateful for that.
Yeah, memories that will last forever, and that's what we live for. We're gonna go to break now. When we come back, we'll have more with Wynn Williams. Welcome back to the Luke Branquinho Show. Wynn Williams is our guest, and Wynn, we've had a great conversation of how you got started, where you're at now. being able to spend time with your wife and your father on these European and foreign tours. But I want to talk about your partnerships. You got some great partnerships with Cinch and AQHA. What that does for you as far as a lot of reasons, getting you up and down the road and just being able to experience that life.
Yeah, man, it kind of elevates our brand a little bit. And, I come from a rodeo background. I also worked in the Western industry, for a period of time while I was in college. And some of my connections there have kind of kept me in the loop, so to speak, in that world. So I went to Jessica, my friend at Cinch, and I said, "Hey,
everybody's friend at Cinch. We love Jessica."
I'd love to work with you guys. I've been a fan of Jessica's for a long time. I've been a fan of Cinch for a long time as well. And you always kind of have to like find ways to differentiate yourself as an artist, because there's 1,000 other people trying to do the exact same thing. So whenever you have partners on board like Cinch and like the American Quarter Horse Association, you can start to elevate your brand significantly and get into not a different audience, so to speak, but just more numbers. And that's the name of this game, man. Eyes and ears, the more you can get, the better. So it's been great so far working with Cinch and AQHA. We've got a lot more stuff that we're looking forward to doing. And hopefully that'll, translate in more tour dates throughout the year, which we have a ton of. And we're going to be back at the NFR as well, which we're excited about. I can't get into too much detail about where we're going to be just yet, but we will be at NFR. So if you're thinking about booking your tickets, everybody, make sure you get some airplane tickets already booked and get your hotel situated, and we'll see you there for sure.
The exposure that you give them is awesome, but the exposure they'll give you, reaching out and it's networking really. They say, "Hey, come check out this athlete we're sponsoring or this musician we're sponsoring," and everybody on the thread sees it, and you're getting a lot of eyeballs from that as well.
Whenever you're looking for sponsorships, it's not as much what they can do for you, but it's what you can do for them. And so I've always kept that in the back of my mind. I may be a small up and coming artist, so to speak, but I think I can bring a lot to the table as I grow. And if I can get with somebody on the ground floor and carry them throughout my career, that's what I want to do.
It's not what can they do for me, it's what can I do for them, and build that type of relationship. And to me, if a cowboy or anybody understands that, it's just going to help them have success in the future.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to wrap up with Wynn Williams. All right. Welcome back to the Luke Branquinho Show. Wynn Williams is our guest. Wynn, we're going to do a little rapid fire question. We're going to have fun with it. All right. Favorite concert venue?
Probably the South Point Showroom.
That's where a lot of guys got their start. We talked about Cody Johnson and Chancey Williams. That's a great spot. Favorite rodeo?
Probably Fort Worth, man. That's my hometown rodeo, and there's a lot of history there. It's a lot of fun.
Favorite rodeo event? I think I know this one.
Yeah, it's got to be steer wrestling.
Awesome. Favorite country artist?
Straight.
I don't think anybody could argue with that one. Favorite non-rodeo sport?
Probably college football.
I got you. I never can get into college football. I don't know why.
It was easier to be into it before because they were just playing for, the patch on their jersey or their name on their jersey. But now it's,
the money
corrupts everything. So,
yeah,
but it's still a lot of fun.
I want to let everybody know where they can find your music and the new album release on August 29th and give them the whole rundown one more time.
Yeah. Your one-stop shop is wynwilliamsmusic.com. That'll take you to all music platforms. It'll take you to our touring schedule, my YouTube channel, all my social media. You can also, like I said, get online. You can pre-order the new album in CD form and vinyl form. We have some various merch packages on there with t-shirts and ball caps and all sorts of goodies on there. But yeah, check out the music anywhere you listen to it and share it with your friends, because that's how we grow this thing.
Awesome, man. Well, Wynn, I appreciate you coming on the show. Everybody, thank you for watching. Check out Wynn Williams if you're going to Las Vegas for the national finals. He will be out there performing. Best of luck, and looking forward to your future, man. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Luke.
You bet. Thank you all for watching the show.